Hello. I'm going to be covering the reporting sides of MP development using Visual Studio. So we're covering the agenda. First of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about the different report project types that you got actually in Visual Studio. This is not the report types that are attached to Management Pack. This is just the report types that you can create using Visual Studio. The type of SCOM reports that we got, I'm going to present a creation of a custom report and also a link report. And then also I'm going to show a little tricks and common solutions for some of the development that you will need to consider, and then a QA at the end. Okay, so let's start with the Visual Studio report projects types that we currently got in Visual Studio. So if we start a new report project, we have two options. Usually you can choose from Project Wizard or the report server project. The difference between both of the two is that the wizard will take you step by step and create a very limited type of different components to create the report, while the report server itself is a empty one, and you can add whatever components that you need to add, and it's more flexible in the requirements that you would like to cover. Okay, so I'm going to show a little bit the different steps that you have to cover when you create using the wizard. You're going to be selecting the data source where the data is coming from. Usually define a new data source that is going to consume the data, and then you have to go through the query builder and then the report layout, then designing the table. So this is very straightforward and just mentioning not deeply because we're going to be focused more in the code. Okay, so then you can also select some deployment if that is the case for this reporting, and then complete the wizard. So that is for the report part. And when you select a report project, you have more flexibility, as I mentioned. Usually when you create this, you will see in Visual Studio a solution explorer where you will see the different components, the data sources, data sets, and the different reports that you could add to this project. Taking consideration that in this project you can add more than one report. We're not talking about just one specific report. It's a multiple type of report different included in here. So we could add, as I mentioned before, different components. We could use even the report wizard, or we can just add components like report or data source, or even a shared data set. Okay, so it will look like this when you add a report. And you will be able to include everything from that report, like, for example, the parameters of the report, the different data sets. Data sets are different data that you will be using throughout the report. So in here, as in the other wizard, we got the capability of define a data source where it's going to be coming all the data. And then the parameters, we're able to set different type of parameters, different default values, or how to populate those parameters. Everything is very straightforward here. So also when we are using a data set, we can create the queries or even consume store procedures that are defined already in the databases. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit SCOM reports. So in SCOM we got two main types. We got the link reports and we got the custom reports. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those two. Maybe most of you know what is the difference between those two, but maybe others know. So I will explain a little bit. So link reports. We started with a base report that is already in a library or accessible from another MP or from the HMP that we are trying to add this link report. So the whole idea of using or reusing or extending the report by using a link report is to be able to set values for any of the parameters. And for example, we could set a specific class, a specific value of a parameter that will give me different information or different layout. So that will be the whole idea of creating a link report. So you don't need to set those values. Those values are already set when you create a link report. So another thing that we need to take in consideration is the target class. Usually the link reports are target for example, let's say Windows computer, or could be any type of class that we would like that this report be appearing in, and in that way we will be able to navigate directly to that report. And then the parameter blocks is the way that we could override or put specific values or allow the user, when these link reports are running, to set the values while executing. Okay, the custom reports. Custom reports is a way to actually create reports from scratch. You can define where you're going to get the information. Mostly of the cases you have to create your own store procedures or queries that you're going to grab the information. Usually when you create a custom report is when you actually try to accomplish something that is not included in the reports that is already coming from other MPs, like in the generic reports. So usually that's the kind of things you would like to consider when you try to create a custom report. So as I mentioned before, the first step is that where you're going to get the information. That will be the first thing to consider, and create the store procedure or the queries that you're going to be executing. And then once you got that information, you will be considering which parameters we're going to require. And then you're going to step in the design of the report, how the layout is going to be presented, and how I'm going to define this for the end user. And then we will include that in how to embed it in an MP, and then import it in the management pack. So those are the kind of considerations. So when we're talking about reports, we mentioned that there are some parameter types that we will be using. So commonly, we got the days parameters, we got the management pack ID, management group ID, object list. Those are the common ones. It could be the day-related ones, like the time zone or start date. So those are the internal parameters that some of these reports are going to be using. We got other, like for example, the alerts ones, where the values are fixed. In this case, those are the values that we are going to be considering. So how we are going to use these different parameters in a report is going to be driven by the controls that are going to be using those parameters. And I'm going to present the controls. So this is the way that you should see those parameters represented by these controls. So usually when you run a report, you will see this kind of stuff. So those are the different controls that represent different type of parameters. It's very important to understand that, for example, in the day ones, as you can see here, the relative daytime picker is just one single control, but internally we are using different parameters. We are using the day base parameter, the time zone. Let me see the other ones here. The base value, the offset type value. So all those parameters are attached to one single control. Okay, so these are the kind of things that you will see when you run the report and when you define the report. Okay, those are other controls that are going to be available, are available right now for all the reports. Some of them got different configurations, but we will cover that. I would like to also present what are the generic reports that we currently got. These are coming in the Data Warehouse Reporting Library, MP. You can create link report based on these ones, and you can override some of the values of the parameters, and in this way create new link reports according to what your needs. So we got different categories of reports, the alert reports, we got the event reports, we got the performance reports, ability and configuration reports. So most of you maybe are familiar with this, and these are, as I mentioned before, available in the SCOM. If you go to the reporting area, you will see these as generic reports, and you can execute it from there, and it will give you an idea the content information that you can obtain from those reports. Okay, so let's move on how to create a custom report. So I'm going to switch to the machine that I got this already loaded. Okay, hold on. Just a moment, please. It seems to have a problem with the. Ah. Okay. I'm logging in again. Hold on. Yeah. So let me share my screen again. Okay. Can you see my screen? Hopefully, yes. Okay, so here I got in Visual Studio a solution with three different projects. So I'm going to explain a little bit about the first one. That is a report project that I am using right now. So in here, if we go, let me show you a little bit what I'm doing right now. Okay. So what I did in here is I create a new project as a reporting services type, business intelligence, and it's a report server project. Okay, so we are going to move to that one again. So this is the project, and I define a data warehouse data source. Well, I define the connection string and the credentials I'm going to be using, and then for this project, I add this specific report. So I'm going to open the report and show you the different components that we got. So, a second. Oh, lost it. Okay. I lost it. Where's that? Wow. Oh. Okay. So I'm going to show you the properties of the report. When you create a report that is going to be imported in SCOM, you need to add also a section that include some code. The code is going to be using a reference from a DLL that is going to be already imported in the reporting services that got the SCOM data warehouse installed. So this is the code that came with all the reports. You can connect to the reporting services, and you can also download any of the reports that you got over there, and you will see, if you open the file, you will see this section of the code. Okay, so this code is going to allow you to interact with some of the functionalities that are included with the management packs, like, for example, controlling the conversion of the data and controlling some of the other functionalities that we need to cover. Hold on, please. Okay, hello. So that is part of the code that we're going to be using here. So besides that, we can define the layout that we're going to be using. This is the layout that I would like to present with the sections. In this case, I'm going to add a chart that is going to present me the data by types and different tables that is going to also provide different sections of the information, and then the last part is going to be the details of all the data I would like to present. In this case, this report is for the overrides that we got in the SCOM. It could be target to a specific management pack, or it could be target to workflow overrides defined for that management pack. So what I'm using here is one of the reports that we got already in the library, but I extended to include that kind of information at the top, the one that is with the blue and the chart. Okay, so once you got the report in the way that you would like to, you just need to view the code and obtain all this definition. You can also copy just the RDL file and use it included for in an MP project. Okay, so I'm going to move to the MP project right now to present you how you're going to embed it in the MP. So we started with a project in the same way. Let me show you here. We have templates when we create a new project, and we select management pack, operations manager. In my case, I'm going to select operations manager 2000 R2 management pack. So once I create this, I'm going to have this project added to the solution. So as Brian mentioned before, this is the this structure that I got in the folder is the structure that is valid for myself. It doesn't mean to be in the same way. It should be in a different way according to what you actually wanted to present. But the components inside, the fragments are actually the ones that we definitely need to incorporate. So we started to be able to add this. What we're starting here is adding the report itself. As you can see, I could add existing item in here, and I could search for that report, the file, and I will be able to add it as part of the project. Once I add the reporting here, component that is going to allow me to add that report. It's called resource. So here is the detail how to add it. When you add a report, the file name is the file name that you are having in the project. The MIME type is this type for a RDL file, and then if this report is also adding scripts, for example, functions that you would like to add, stored procedures that you would like to add, we will add those also as resources. But as you can see here, the resource for the scripts are different. For the reporting file for the RDL is reports resource. For the script or any other type is resource. So we will add this, and also yeah, in the same way that we added for the report, we are adding the scripts for the SQL scripts. I'm going to open one of those. For example, this is going to show me. Okay. So this is all the stored procedures that I'm using for getting the data of the database. Well, it's very detailed. You will see once I execute it. And in here, when we add a script, we have to add two different stored procedures or two different sections of going to be the one that is going to add the stored procedure, and the other one is going to be the one that dropped it. And why we need to add in that way? Because when we add the resource, when we add the resource, we have to add one for installing the resource and one for uninstalling the resource. And where we define that? We define that in the in a section that we call data warehouse scripts. So as you can see in here, I'm adding two different stored procedures. One for the data that is going to install, and the uninstall and upgrade. Those are the three sections for each one. And the other one is for the charts. So that means that we are using different data sources in the report that's going to provide the information for the two areas. Okay, so now we got the script defined, we got the report defined, and the resource for the report already defined. Okay, then what we need to add in here is how the report is going to be added in the SCOM. So we need to add another fragment that is going to reflect all the components that I already mentioned. So we need to add a fragment that is going to contain this report. So for every report that we are adding in this MP, we are going to have something similar. So in here, I also defining my report as public. It could be internal, it could be visible, or it could be not visible. Then you have to define the dependencies, and the dependencies is actually well, by doing this, we are defining that the two scripts that are needed for this report are going to be installed with this report. Okay, and then the parameter block is how the controls are going to be displayed and which control is going to attach to which parameter. Like in this case, we are seeing that we got a relative daytime picker control, and for this one, we are attaching, or we are grouping all these parameters. So those are related to this control. Then we have another one for the combo box. That is the select criteria. We got, I'm going to show you that in a moment. So we got this other one, and we got the Boolean picker, and then the checklist box. So then after the parameters section is defining here, the way to add the definition of the report is by referencing the resource element. So if we go open here, the resource element, I'm going to show you here so you can take a look. So if you see the resource, the ID that I'm using here is the same ID that I define here. So that means that when this is built, the definition that is coming from the file is going to be embedded in this section. And that's the way that you are going to be able to include it in the MP. So what else is missing here? As any MP element that we got in SCOM, we could define the display strings. In report, it's called report strings. So these are the ID of the report strings that we got in the report. That means that we could override or set values for this to be to appear in the report. So if we go to the code of the report, we will see that instead of getting the value of the display string, we are using these IDs. And by you doing this, we're able to define all the labels values in the MP in the same way that we are defining any display string for any MP element. So as you can see, this is the name that is going to appear for this report. And these are all the MP, report strings that we got included for that report. So we could also, if for any reason we are defining parameters that are not already defined in the libraries, we could also define the display strings of those parameters in this MP. Okay, so we got all those. And of course, we can add the knowledge article of the report itself that will present more information, detailed information about how to execute it, well, the parameters, the default values, and what will be the expected output of this. Okay, so we got all this. And then once we got the definition of the report already, like in this sample, we are going to be able to build the MP. So my MP in this case, this is the name of the MP I'm using. So once again, as Brian mentioned before, if I go to the properties of the MP, I'm going to be able to see how the ID of my MP, the initial version, this is going to be increased every time that I build. The friendly name, the namespace, my build is going to be using a key file, MP key. This is my drop location, so I'm going to be able to generate this. So if I build my MP and open the location, so this is the drop location for that MP. So as any MP project, we are generating 3 different files. We are generating MP file, MPB file, and XML file. So for reporting, the file that you need to import is not the XML, it's not the MP, it's the MPB. That's the file that we are going to be using and import in the SCOM console. Okay, so now we got the MPB file ready. We're going to import that in here. And after the deployment process and after the update process that it would take some time to complete, we are going to be able to see in the report the new folder of the MP. In this case is MP University Webinar. We're going to be seeing this is the custom report that I built. As you can see, these are the controls So this is the custom report. If I set the values for the custom report, I'm going to also refresh according to the values that I'm setting in here. Okay, so I'm going to include one of the ones that I know got data, and I'm going to run it. Okay, so this is the report that we just built. In here, there is the layout of the report allow me to present the selected MPs that I already selected in the parameters. It's going to present the chart with the override by type. And it's going to present the overrides per management pack. So I'm seeing that this management pack is the one that got more overrides. If I move to the other pages, I'm going to be able to see overrides by workflow. So this gives me some key information. And if I move on, okay, I think I missed it here. I'm going to be having overrides by type. So this kind of information is a little more detailed from the one that we got out of the box. And then, of course, we got the details that we already got in the other report, where we got the details of each of the rules and how it's been override. So that's the output that we got in the custom report. So far, everything seems to be according to what we are expecting. Okay, so I'm going to show you a link report. So now we got a custom report. What I'm going to do, I'm going to create a link report that is going to override some of these parameters and is going to present the information according to those pre-defined values of the parameters. So what I'm doing here, I add a new fragment and I create a link report that is going to be using the predefined custom report that I got. So as you can see, we got the link report. That's the idea I'm assigning to this one. This link report is going to be target only for the Windows Servers computer, Windows Servers 2012 computers, and it's going to use the base report that is included in this MP. Okay, so as you saw before in the custom report, this is the section of the parameters, and this is the section that is going to be displayed when we run the report. If we compare these two sections, this and the other one, I'm going to open the other one. Okay, so put it in here. Okay, so if you take a look to here, you will see in here we got the parameter for time zone name, while in here, oh no, wait, yeah, while in here we got the daytime parameters, we got exclude seal, management packs, management group. So in here we are setting the values, the default values for this, and for this. Okay, how do we do that? So we open a new section called parameters and set the value of the select criteria. So that is the value that I'm defaulting for this one, and that's the value that I'm defaulting for the other one. For management pack, do you remember the management pack was this type of control? Let me show you the control. No, no, this one, the custom. Let me go to the custom. Okay. This is the control that we got. Now in the link report, we don't see that control anymore. And the reason because of that is because I'm setting the value of the control in here. So to set the value of a multiple combo box, or in this case is a checkbox leaks, I'm setting the value this way. So these are the values that are already predefined for this management pack control parameter. So that's the only thing that I need to do for creating this link report. I don't need to redefine the values. I don't need to redefine the internal definition. I'm just setting specific values of some of the parameters, and with that, what I'm going to obtain is a specific result in the way that the report is going to be presented. So when I execute the link report, as you can see, I don't need to set all the values because all those values are already set in the link report definition. So the only thing that I need to do is just set the from today value, maybe the management group, and then run it, and it will present information according to what I really need. So this is the way that you can create the custom report and the link report. Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the tricks or quick common solutions that you will need or you can use if you desire during the development. Okay, let's go over here. This is a reporting services site. In this case, this is the one that I'm using. If I go to navigate to home, I'm going to see all the different folders for all the different management pack that add reports to this reporting service server. If we open one of the reports that we got from the library, these are the reports that we could execute it, and we will be able to execute it from SCOM. Okay, so if we go here, generate reports, those are the different reports, you see. So if we would like to extend one of these, just a sample, for example, you can download any of these reports, download it. Once you download it, you can create a report project and add that report here, like I did in here. Once you do that, you're going to be able to control all the components of the report. But if you try to execute it or preview directly in here, because of the reference that we got in this kind of files, let me show you the reference. What I'm talking about is this one. You are not going to be able to execute it because it's going to show you an alert saying it's missing the reference and you are not going to be able to execute it. So how to have a workaround around that issue? So first of all, what I'm doing here, I'm modifying my reference and adding only this reference. Then in the code itself, I grab all this code, and what I did is I create another project that is going to allow me to test and even extend this BB code. So I create a form here, and if we go to the code itself, this is the same similar code that we got in the report with some adjustment. I add to this BB code project, I add new classes that is going to simulate the same classes that we are having from this. And by comment out these lines, I'm able to add the same functionality that we are adding that we got from the same DLLs, but from this code. And by doing this, I am able to add the same classes in here in the definition of the code in here, and that will allow me to preview and test it in here without having any issue at all. Also, this allow me to no, never mind. This allow me to control every part of the report testing. So in that way, I'm able to handle all the development and make sure that everything is running as expected. And this also allow me to validate every section and every feature of the report definition itself. So if I choose all this, it's the same management pack that I'm choosing. And this is the same execution that I'm executing from. Oh, select criteria is applied to. That's the difference. Okay, you see, it's the same output that we got in the other one. So this is a way to work like a workaround to be able to execute it in here. Also, you can do this. That's another way to do it. You can connect in here, navigate to the report where it's being deployed, and you can also edit in Report Builder. Report Builder will give you some functionality, but it's not extend as Visual Studio. You can add simple sections or minor adjustment. And once you got this, you can save it and then download the RDL again, the report, and then once again update it in the project and rebuild the MP. So in that way, you will be able to redeploy the updated version of the report that you just updated. So this is another way to do it. You can define parameters in the same way that you are able to do it in Visual Studio. This was the section that I'm trying to get. But anyway, this is something that is similar to what you got in Visual Studio. So this is another way to be able to add additional functionality, modify minor things. So this is another way to do it. You can also run it from here, but in this case, if you run it from here, you need to set the values of these parameters. I already did this in here as default values. That's why that is why the values in here is being populated. So to be able to run it from here, you have to set those values, and you can run it from here. Okay. So those are the kind of things that you can do for validating the report, testing the report, modifying and embedded in the MP. Okay. The output. As any of the reports that we are creating in reporting services, you can export those reports. And in this case, I'm exporting the report as a PDF. So I got the output of the report in here. Will contain all the information that is defined in the reporting services window. So we got over here. Oh. So Georgia, how I'm with the time?
Hi, Freddie. You've got about 10 minutes left.
You're at the 15-minute mark,
yep.
Freddie.
Yep. So I would like to go over question and answers.
Sure.
That you might have.
Sure.
And I'll also show you the survey for this session. I'm going to post that.
Thank
the
you,
chat
Freddy.
window.
Thank you, everyone. If you could take a few moments to complete the surveys. I've posted some other surveys in the chat box as well for the other sessions. So it looks like we're getting some good responses. So I appreciate you taking the time and giving us the feedback that will make these even better. Okay, Freddy, so yeah, a lot of chatter in the chat box here. So we can start with some questions here. Let me get. Well, it looks like people are answering some of the questions as well. Is it possible to extract a report that no longer works in SCOM 2012 for the Exchange MP and modify it to get it working here?
Yeah, that's what I did. I went to the location of the report is deployed, and I download it, and then modify according to what I need.
Excellent. Thanks. Thanks, Freddy. Hopefully that helped you, James. Let's see what else we have here. Tom asks, what types of objects can we install in the SQL files? Only procedures and functions? That's his question.
Well, when we create the resource in here, take in mind that the resource is something that is going to be deployed. So we are going to be deploying a function. We're going to be deploying a store procedure. But what else? I don't think that we're going to be deploying a query. So we definitely are going to be using those kind of things. There's other kind of resource that you can deploy, like data sets, but those are more complex. Those are kind of things that you can do also. If that is the question regarding that area, yes, you can do that also.
Okay, thanks, Freddy. A couple of other ones have just come in. Do you have some kind of walkthrough step-by-step for reporting in an MP?
I think I don't understand the one. Step by step for what?
For reporting.
Well, this is a step-by-step reporting. Oh, by creating the reporting in reporting services?
I'm not sure. Maybe Tom, he's just asked this question. Maybe you can clarify in the chat box. And while he's doing that, I'll go to the next question. Okay, Freddy? So David asked, does anyone know, or maybe you do, Freddy, a good community site where people are sharing custom reports?
Custom reports?
Correct.
System Central. You can take a look to my chat. I'm going to be posting more. My blog. I mean, I'm going to be posting more regarding these sessions and reporting also. So you can take a look over there.
Right. So that's systemcentercentral.com, everyone, where Freddy does blog. I can definitely send his blog link to all of you as well. Thank you, Freddy.